I'm Mrs. Vaca, and we're going to take notes on multi-step equations, part 2. The steps for this are to do all the distributive properties first, if you have any. Step 2, you're going to combine like terms, again, if you have any. Then you're going to move the smallest variable from one side to the other. The next step is to add or subtract the constant. And then the last step is to multiply or divide the coefficient. Now we know how to do all of these steps and we've done them all, but now we're going to do problems where you do them all in the same problem. Alright, for our first example, okay, again you're going to draw your lines on the equal sign like always. Step 1 is to distribute. We do have parentheses here, so we can go ahead and get rid of those by distributing. So I'm going to distribute a negative 8. So negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. Then you're going to multiply Then you're going to multiply negative 8 times 7. A negative times a positive is a negative, so we'll get negative 56. Everything from this other side of the problem drops down. So we'll have 8 minus 8x. Okay, the next step is to combine your like terms. We don't have any like terms. Remember, like terms have to be on the same side of this line, and all of our like terms are on opposite sides of the line. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is to move the smallest variable. Negative 24 is actually smaller than negative 8, so I'll move 24x by adding it. The 24s will go away, leaving me with negative 56 equals negative 8 plus 24 which is 16. It's positive. Bring down your 8. And now we have a two-step equation. The next step is to move your constant by addition or subtraction. Our constant is 8, so we will subtract 8 from both sides. Bring down your 16x equals whatever negative 56, which is negative 64. And then your last step is to divide. Okay, you move your coefficient by multiplication or division. In this case, the opposite of multiplication is division, so x is whatever negative 64 divided by 16 is, which is negative 4. That's our final answer. Alright, our next example, again, we're going to draw a line down our equal sign. Okay, the first step is to do your distributive property, which means to multiply. Okay, we do have parentheses here, so we will be distributing, so that's where you're going to start. So 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and it's a b. 2 times positive 6 is positive 12. Everything else in the problem is going to drop down, so I'm going to bring down my plus 3b, my equals, and my 32 minus 6b. Okay? The second step in the notes say to combine your like terms. Like terms are things that are variables go with variables, numbers or constants go with constants, and they have to be on the same side of the line in order to combine them. So in this case we have like terms. We have negative 14b and 3b. Those are both b's, so we can add them. Negative 14 plus 3 is negative 11b. Everything else drops down, so I'm going to bring down my plus 12 equals, and then there are 32 and 6b are not like terms, so they'll just drop down. So step 1 was distribute, step 2 combine like terms, step 3 move your smallest variable. Our smallest variable is 11b. Negative 11 is smaller than negative 6. So go ahead and add 11b to both sides. Those will go away, leaving us with 12 equals 32. That'll drop down. And then negative 6 plus 11 is positive 5. So we have 5 b's. Okay. Step 4 is to move your constant by addition or subtraction. So we are going to subtract 32 from both sides. Bring down your 5b equals 12 minus 32 is negative 20. Be careful with your negatives. Then your last step is to move your coefficient by multiplication or division. This is times, so we'll do the opposite and divide. So b is negative 20 divided by 5, which is negative 4. Alright, here's your first you try. Go ahead and pause the video and try it, and then hit play and see if you're right. Alright, first thing is draw your line. Then you're going to distribute. Okay, you are going to distribute a negative 4. You always distribute before you combine. So negative 4 times negative 3, two negatives will make a positive 12. And then negative 4 times negative 3n, again, is a positive 12n. Everything else in the problem drops down. This 2, the equals, and this entire side, 5n minus 28. Alright, step 2 would be to combine like terms. Our like terms are 2 and 12. Those are both constants, and they're on the same side of the line. 2 plus 12 is 14. Everything else drops down. Our plus 12n, our equals, and then again this entire side. Step 3, you should have moved your smallest variable. Our smallest variable was 5n, so I'm going to subtract 5n from both sides. The 5n's will go away, leaving me with negative 28 equals 12 minus 5, which is 7. So we have 7 n's, and then we still have a 14. Again, this is a positive 7, so I'm going to go ahead and put a plus sign in between there. So we've distributed, combined, moved our smallest variable. Now we're going to move our constant. Move your constant by addition or subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. Bring down your 7n. Negative 28 minus 14 is negative 42. Be very careful with your negatives. And then your last step is to move your coefficient, and you move your coefficient by multiplication or division. In this case, division. 42 divided by 7 is 6, so n will equal negative 6, because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Alright, here's your last you try. Go ahead and pause the video and try it on your own, and then hit play and see if you're right. Alright, draw your line, and then you'll start step 1 with distributing. You're going to distribute the 6, so you'll get 6n, and then 6 times 2 is a positive 12. Everything else drops down, so you'll have 5. Since this 6n was positive, I'm going to put a plus sign in there. And then this entire left side drops down, negative 25 minus n. After you distribute, you will combine like terms. Here on the right side, we have a 5 and a plus 12. Those are both regular numbers. They're constants, so they can be combined. 5 plus 12 is 17. Everything else drops down. Plus 6n equals, and then this entire side, negative 25 minus n. Alright, step 3 is to move your smallest variable. Remember, this negative n is the same as a negative 1n. Negative 1 is smaller than positive 6, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1n to both sides. Those ends will go away, leaving us with a negative 25 on the left equals 6 plus 1 is 7. So I have 7 ends, and 17 drops down. 7 is positive, so I'll put a plus sign in there. Alright, step 4 is to move your constant. My constant is 17, it's positive, so I'm going to do the opposite and subtract. Okay, make sure you do negative 25 minus 17. Okay, be careful with your negatives, which is negative 42 equals 7n. Bring your 7n down. Alright, and the last step, you're going to move your coefficient. We're going to do that by dividing. So n is going to be whatever negative 42 divided by positive 7 is, which is a negative 6.